Dear students, let us start the discussion on today's newspaper, that is 25th August 2016. The first article is related to the Good Samaritans. Now, when an accident has happened, most of the lives we lose are due to unavailability of the medical care. So, the finest hour of the medical care, it can save at least 50% of the lives in the country. So, in this case, every person, a bystander, he tries to keep himself away from that particular accident because no one wants to get into the legal tangles. So this scenario was changed last week when Center has notified certain rules with regard to the Good Samaritans who help the victims of the accident. In this, what happened exactly? So now, any of the statement which has been given or affidavit given, it shall be considered as a statement and it shall be final. And even if statement is expected from a witness or from a bystander who is a good Samaritan, then the statement shall be taken only once and it shall be final. And if he wants to be a witness voluntarily, then he shall be taken as a witness. It means a good Samaritan shall not be made to bond the criminal or civil liability or shall be made a witness without his will. That is what is the center has notified. Now, the second thing is, when an accident victim was taken to the hospital, hospitals tries to charge hefty amounts and the Good Samaritan is made responsible for that. So in this case, Ministry of Health also gave a notification that no hospital can deny a medical facility or else the medical treatment for the accident victim on the cause that he did not provide for the necessary fees, etc. So these things can improve the situation of accident relief in the country. Now coming to citizenship without bias, you know that citizenship amendment bill, it is introduced in the parliament. This bill, what it says is from three countries, they are Pakistan, Bangladesh and Afghanistan. For the minorities here mean Hindus, Christians, Parsis, Jains, these are the people. So for the minorities from these three countries who are living in India without proper documentation, for at least 6 years of the period, they will be granted the citizenship status and they will be made the legal citizens of this country. Now, if you observe, in Pakistan, Ahmadiyas, and coming to in Sri Lanka, many of the Indian Tamils, these were taken by the British to work in the tea gardens. And these people do not come under the scope of this law because Sri Lanka is not covered in this. And Rohingyas, they are facing a persecution in Myanmar. So they also do not come under the purview of this particular law as Myanmar is not covered. So in this scenario, so what the author suggests is the scope of the law can be extended to include all neighbors and also the people facing the religious persecution. So the terminology has to be changed from minorities to the people facing the religious persecution shall take the space as citizens in India. That's what the author argues for. Now, in this case, India do not have a refugee law of its own. So, Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru has stated the three principles with regard to the refugees on the arrival of the Tibetan refugees that so India will welcome on humanitarian grounds and it will be a bilateral issue. And once the situation normalizes, these people are expected to move back to their country. So these are the three principles on which our refugee law has to function. So, but however, India do not have a refugee law as of now. Now coming to surrogacy bill. Now if you see, there are many strange incidents have happened. In Hyderabad passport office, an American woman married to a Jamaican man who got a child through surrogacy. She left the child in the passport office as the passport of the child was not cleared. And similarly, a Japanese couple ordered for surrogacy, commissioned surrogacy, and they did not own the child because the people got divorced. So in this scenario, there are many issues which have been coming up, and on the directions of the High Court, the central government has framed a surrogacy bill. So the cabinet cleared this bill. What it says is, the surrogacy will be allowed only for legally married couple who are married for more than 5 years and they are childless. If already adopted children or biological children are available to a couple, the surrogacy will not be available. And surrogacy will also not be available for foreigners, and homosexuals, single parents, live-in relations, etc. So it means that the surrogacy scope of surrogacy is going to be very much limited. So around 2010, India is sarcastically called as the surrogacy capital of the world, where the rich people used to rent the womb of the Indian poor to get the children. So this is what has been prohibited. Even this law prohibits the donation of the egg by the Indian woman. So this is about Indian surrogacy bill. Coming to India-Cyprus double taxation avoidance agreement, you know that to avoid round-tripping and tax shopping, India is revising its double taxation avoidance agreements. It did it with Mauritius. So what happens is this. If a Mauritius resident has invested in India and he has gained profit in India, he need not pay the capital gains tax in India as there is a double taxation avoidance agreement. That's why most of the Indians, they want to get registered themselves as the residents of Mauritius or Cyprus to avoid the capital gains tax over here. Now what the existing law says is, there is a grandfathering clause by till 2017 some waiver is been given, and after that any person who has gained the capital or who has got the capital gains in India, they have to pay the tax in India itself. It is not, the residency clause has been done away with. So even a Mauritius resident, not even the citizen, if he gains the benefit in India, he has to pay the capital gains tax in India itself. That way the double taxation avoidance agreements are being changed, and the negotiations are also going on with Cyprus. Coming to the piracy, now recently government of India has notified that viewing of certain URLs, certain sites, and added to that downloading. So these can attract 3 years of punishment, imprisonment along with fine. So 3 lakh rupees of the fine. So if you carefully observe, it is not just downloading of a movie. Even if you visit that site, that can attract this provision. For example, if you are downloading a movie from Pirate Bay, then obviously that can attract as a piracy. But however, you are not downloading the movie. If you even just visit that site, that can also attract this particular provision. So that's why author argues that this is draconian. So it means previously burden of proof lies on the person who is accusing of infringement. Now it is not just that. Without any inquiry, if just an URL is been visited, then you can be subjected to punishment. And the second thing is, if you observe disruption industry, the technology and disruption of it is growing. So everywhere the technology is disrupting the industries. So why can't the media and other industries be disrupted? So that's what is the question he poses. It is an alternative view actually. So because generally we see the ownership of the media and its contents, movies and its contents to private individuals. What he argues is the piracy is a problem of global pricing policies. Because the media content is becoming too costly and the data delivery has become too cheap. So in these circumstances, people are prone to download the videos. And then the media and also the movie industry tries to exaggerate the losses due to piracy. So every download they presume as a loss of a sale. But in reality that do not happen. There will not be any loss of sale. And next is, for example, many of the movies, they might lose this particular copyright after 20 or 20 years. Then, how can it be prohibited from download? So these are the various issues that need to be answered. So, now coming to engaging with world neighbor. Now India-Myanmar relations, if you observe, so they are very critical for our Look East policy, which is rephrased as Act East policy. But however, the military junta was very close to China, and then now a democratic transition is happening. The United States also has lifted its sanctions over the Myanmar. But however, the persecution of minorities, that is Rohingyas, is still an issue for United States. But if you come to India, so when the military junta came to power, India was criticizing the military junta and the relations did not develop. But the situation has changed from 1990s when India stopped criticizing the military junta, keeping its strategic views in mind. If you take in 2008 and Cyclone Nargis has occurred, the military junta did not accept any of the relief from any other country other than India. And now after the democratic transition, so our infrastructure projects are further being pushed off, especially the Sitwe port, it's been on a fast track. And it is also, India also has developed or renovated a thermal power plant. and also we are building India-Myanmar Friendship Road. And also recently with regard to Naga insurgencies, India got the permission of the Myanmar to visit and attack on the Naga insurgents after an ambush in Manipur. So in this way, the relationship is growing. Previously, the relationship is more about supporting the democracy in Myanmar. Now it is becoming more broad-based and its scope is increasing. Now coming to Scorpene. The Scorpene are the diesel submarines. Now, diesel submarine, it has to come onto the surface regularly to switch on its diesel engine, where the power generated from the diesel engine, it will be used to charge the batteries, and then it will be going the underwater. This is how the generally a diesel submarine runs. The Scorpions are not nuclear power based submarines. Now in this scenario, the Scorpions, they have a unique technique. They are independent of air propulsion. It means they need not come onto the surface to take the air regularly, and they can run their diesel engines, and for that they are getting air through some other process. So that's why they have independent air propulsion. That's what has been said. So India, especially its Akula class submarines, these are been almost dying. So in this, India is the Charlie class and Akula class, they are having their own challenges. India is importing 6 Scorpion submarines. It is through a technology transfer mode. So the sensitive details related to that, they are lost. Because the stealth, it is the core philosophy of running a submarine, and the stealth technology got leaked. So that's what is the major concern for India. And coming to Kerala fat tax. So what is this fat tax in Kerala? Now, the high fat containing food run by reputed restaurants such as KFC, McDonald's, etc. will be taxed to the tune of 14.5%. It is keeping in view the public health concerns. That's what the Kerala state says. Then, there is a discrimination between the fat containing food run by the multinational companies and the food served by the Indian restaurants. Obviously, a discrimination exists, and it cannot stand at the WTO if it is challenged before it. Now he has given the comparison with the cigarettes. When the cigarettes in the United States, which are being clove-based cigarettes from Indonesia, which are being imported to US when they are banned, Indonesia challenged that in WTO, saying that the methanol-based cigarettes, which are similar to clove, having the similar effects, are not banned. But the clove-based cigarettes are banned. It is hurting their business. And WTO gave its judgment favor to Indonesia. And on the other hand, when the pictorial warnings are supposed to be placed on Marlboro cigarettes, in the public health concern, the WTO has favored in support of the Uruguay government. So why this has happened? Because there is no discrimination in the case of Uruguay, but there is a clear element of discrimination exists in the case of USA. Even if you take the Kerala fat tax, that is what is the case. Now coming to speaking truth to power. What is the function of the Speaker's office? It shall be an impartial office which has to promote the free debate and the constructive argument, discipline in the House, and it has to provide for a strengthening of the democratic functioning of the parliamentary institutions. But in India, the opposition members are being thrown en masse outside the houses when they are raising the issues, especially recently in Gujarat, when Yuna incident against the Dalits was raised, the speaker has suspended all the members of the opposition en masse. And the same is the thing repeated in Tamil Nadu. So in this scenario, the speaker's office shall apply the maximum restraint possible to make the debate more constructive and organized. So these are the articles for today. Thank you very much.